Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Happy Halloween. Today is Halloween and I am here to share with you my favorite things from the month of October. I've got a smaller selection here today. I only have 8 things here in front of me. A few of them are new, a few of them are much older. One thing in particular is new to me, but is by no means a new makeup product, but I am absolutely loving it and I can't wait to share them all with you. Before we get into it though, I want to welcome my new visitors here. Thanks for stopping by today. I hope you enjoy this one. If you do, be sure to give it a like, make sure that you're subscribed and that your notifications are turned on. With that said, let's get right into it. Let's start with some repeat items first, get those out of the way. I have been loving my Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous Foundation. This has been a favorite of mine for a couple of years now. I have 3 different shades of this. This shade right now, which is 270C, is a perfect match for me currently. I love when I have a foundation that matches me perfectly without having to mess with it at all. That is super rare for me. I rarely get my foundation match right, and typically I end up ordering my foundations online. And honestly, even when you go in store and you can swatch things, you think you're getting it right sometimes and it's just not quite right. So I love when I can just put a foundation on. I don't have to worry about it not looking quite right. But in addition to the shade, this is just a great all-around foundation. It's nice and creamy. It has good, I would say, medium, slightly higher than medium coverage. I don't need to layer it up. I can get a good even coverage in with one solid pump. I love the pump of it, although I will say this shade in particular, I've had some issues with it leaking minorly. Not as bad as some of my others, and honestly, I've noticed that all the foundation pumps that end up leaking all end up being high-end. This one, my NARS Luminous, light reflecting foundation, I can't even leave this in my makeup drawer because it leaks so severely. And I've ranted about that before, but I mean, let's be honest. When I spend $40 on a foundation, I expect the pump to be at least as good as the ones I get at the drugstore. Sometimes that's not the case though. But boy, this is such a good one. I've been loving it recently. It's so quick to apply. I've been applying it with a brush, which works great for me. I have seen Ulta on their 21 Days of Beauty sale. I think they've had this in that sale at least once, maybe twice. So if you don't want to spend the full $48 on this, which is that's kind of pricey. Usually 40 is kind of my limit when it comes to high-end foundations. I think I did get mine on sale and I'm so glad that I did because I really love it. Okay, let's talk about an old bronzer that I've had forever that is a smaller, it's a mini, so I forget about this sometimes. It kind of gets lost in my bronzer drawer, but now that we're all organized, and honestly, even before that, I've been using this Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer. This one is in the shade Diffused Bronze Light, which is a nice, cooler tone. It is a little bit deep on me. Now, that doesn't look that deep. I shouldn't say that. It's not deep, but it is one that I can't like go crazy with my brush in it. I have to apply it kind of lightly, but it is so pretty and natural. This kind of reminds me of a slightly deeper version of the Flower Beauty Sunrise L1 bronzer, which I absolutely love. And for those of you that have issues with your bronzer being orange or being too warm, you feel like everything just pulls orange on you, this is the type of bronzer I would recommend because it's very soft and rosy. It's not ashy, but it definitely leans more in that direction. It's lovely. And if you haven't tried out the Hourglass bronzer formula, I know I complain a lot about Hourglass and their overpriced ambient lighting palettes, but these bronzers are fantastic. I have a full size in this one and the formulas are absolutely lovely. Couple more old things. I have been back in my powdered eyebrow mode. So this is my Sydney Grace Mad For You brow palette. This is the soft brown version. I can only use these first 3 shades. These ones here are way too warm for me, but I've just really been enjoying this again. It's made it into a couple favorites videos before. I've had this for about 3 years now. And there's just something about a powdered brow. It feels very like old-fashioned way of doing your brows to me. You can get nice and precise if you want to do more of a gradient, like a lighter shade in the front, a darker shade in the tail. Sometimes I do that, but honestly, does it really? I probably don't do it right. I am by no means an expert when it comes to eyebrows, but I'm just so happy with this thing. It performs great. I'm pretty sure that you can customize your own version, if I remember right. I'm gonna link their website down below. I think I saw that on there once and I thought that's a great idea because this shade is the one I use by far the most, so I would love to create my own brow palette from them and have like 2 of this shade, maybe 1 more of this one, and then this one rather than these last 2. It's a great little palette. I typically use mine with my Sephora brow brush, which works really well. Okay, last repeat item is this right here. This is the Essence Keep Me Covered Concealer. I tried out the foundation and the concealer of this long ago. I want to say it was like 2, maybe 3 years. And I did not like the foundation. It was a very odd, like bright shade of yellow. This concealer though, I really did love. I kind of forgot about it for a while because I had this in my to-go bag in my car for a while. I don't often put my makeup on in my car. Once in a while I like having things in there just in case I need it, but it's rare that I am out and about without my makeup on. So I had forgotten about this. I pulled all my makeup back into my makeup room in preparation for my coming declutter. And I pulled this thing back out over the last couple of weeks and I've been reminded of why I love this thing. It's such a good concealer, really good high coverage. This kind of reminds me of maybe a slightly less cakey or thick version of the Dior Forever Skin Concealer, which you guys know I absolutely love, but it's very high coverage. It definitely is going to give you a lot of coverage. I don't know much about the shade range. In fact, I don't even know exactly what shade this is because half of the sticker is gone, but I love it. I think it's a good one. By the way, the amount of product you get in here, which I always feel like is important to mention, is only 0.11 ounces. That's not very much at all, but I'll always give Essence a pass for that because I'm pretty sure you can find this concealer for under $5 or around $5, and Essence products often go on sale. Let's talk about the Tartelette Tubing Mascara. I mentioned in the video where I tried this out for the first time that I would update you guys on this mascara. It took me a few days to figure out my feelings on this mascara. Now, first off, I really like it. It's quick to apply. It looks beautiful on the lashes. It's a very wet mascara, but it doesn't take too long to dry. Sometimes I like a wet mascara because they never clump. The wetter the mascara formula is, the less likely you are, at least in my experience, to get those very kind of dry, flaky clumps in your lashes. They give you really good separation and definition, which I really love. I love the packaging of this mascara. If you are a sucker for good mascara packaging, I mean, most high-end mascaras are generally will give you that feel, if you know what I mean. This one is absolutely beautiful and weighty. As far as the longevity and the tubing effect, here's what I've noticed about this mascara. It is called a tubing mascara. I actually have not found it to remove in the way that I expect from a mascara that claims to be a tubing mascara. Now, that said, I've tried a lot of the tubing mascaras over the last several months because so many brands have been coming out with them. I have yet to find a tubing mascara that removes in the way that I remember the old school Thrive Cosmetics tubing mascara to remove. Nothing has quite given me that satisfaction where you can just put some water on your eyes, lightly pinch, and all your mascara just comes off. Nothing's gonna do that quite like the Thrive Cosmetics mascara did. I think the Milani one got very close. Other than that, some of the other ones that I love, like the e.l.f. Extender Mascara, and there's one from Essence that I really like. What other tubing mascaras have I tried? The Wrap Lash. None of those have quite removed in that way, and this one is similar. What I find with this one is it doesn't remove unless my water is very warm, and it kind of is more of like a sort of like melts off of my lashes. It reminds me a bit of the Panorama Mascara. There's something about this that never quite dries down to where it almost feels all day long like it has this very, very subtly tacky feeling to it. It doesn't bother me in any way, and I do find that it wears really well on just on my everyday average day if my eyes are just a little bit watery here and there. But I have found if I'm outside watching, I always say watching a baseball game, because these are the only times where I find my eyes to be just, I mean, it's like I'm at watching Titanic when I was 17. I mean, my eyes just water like you would not believe. There are very few mascaras that can hold up to that situation. This one can't quite cut that extreme level of watering. It does start to kind of melt off a little bit. It starts to kind of get tacky again. I haven't noticed that it starts to transfer or anything, but it will start to come off my lashes if my eyes are watering that extremely. That said, I really like it. I'm wearing it on my lashes today. I think it looks beautiful on the lashes. It's very good. Now, is it worth the high-end price tag? I still don't know that I like this one as much as I love my e.l.f. lash extender, but it does give a little bit different of an effect to your lashes. It's a little bit more, I would say, volumizing, like thickening. It separates a little bit better, maybe looks a little bit better on my lashes. It's just a little bit more finicky, I would say, in the way that it wears and also the way that it removes. Okay, last three things I have are newer items. This right here is the Buxom Full On Plumping Lip Gloss. Is it lip gloss or lip glaze? I always forget. Lip polish. I was wrong on both accounts. This one is in the shade Sandy. I know that these glosses have been around forever. I think way before I even started my YouTube channel over 7 years ago. And I don't know why I took so long to try these glosses out. I think I just maybe because they weren't new, so they never got me all excited. So this last Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale, they had these in the sale, which I know they've had them in there several times before. I finally threw one into my cart to give it a try, and I am surprised at how much I ended up really liking this lip gloss. First thing to mention, you probably already know this because I'm sure all of you have tried this lip gloss before, but this is like putting icy hot on your lips. I mean, I've tried some other plumping lip glosses before. There is something pretty extreme about this one, but in a very good way. It's like a mild version of icy hot, and I kind of love it. I actually do think it makes my lip, I don't know if it's the plumping effect of the chemicals inside this lip gloss, or if it's just the pearlescence of this particular color, but I do think it makes my lips look fuller, nicer. It's such a pretty, soft color. This is basically just a very sheer, shimmery, it's not even shimmery. It has this very subtle pearl in it, but you definitely can see that pearl effect on your lips. It reminds me of a less pearly version of the Lawless lip gloss that I absolutely love. But this one is much more extreme. Like the mint plumping effect is more extreme in this one than in the Lawless one. It is lovely. Look at that beautiful kind of peachy pink pearly color. Honestly, it seems so simple. Like I've seen this shade and type of lip gloss before, but there's just something about this one. I have been so happy with it. It's been coming with me in every purse for it's been about 2 months now. I think I've had this thing for a while, and I just can't tell you how happy I am with it. The only thing that I will say that I've noticed more recently as the weather has turned cold is the minty effect of this is kind of almost too much when the weather is cold, because it actually makes my lips physically cold. Like I feel like I need to put a scarf around my lips or something. But if you like that sort of effect, you're gonna absolutely love this. If you hate that sort of mint plumping effect, you're probably gonna hate it, because this is the most extreme version of a plumping gloss that I think I've ever tried. I have to tell you guys about this Pat McGrath single blush that I found recently at my Ross. This is insane. Now, I actually hesitated talking about this in this favorites video today, because I actually have a video where I have a couple of things that I picked up in my local Ross, which is not typically where I find discount makeup. I was very surprised at the high-end level of some of the things that I found, but I found this blush at my Ross for $15.99, which is insane to me. I can't believe Ross had Pat McGrath. I've seen Pat McGrath at TJ Maxx or Marshall's before, but Ross, as I mentioned, Ross is kind of like the poor man's TJ Maxx. Not to rag on Ross. I love shopping at Ross, but I typically don't shop there for discount makeup because I just don't usually find good things there. I was so surprised to find this there, and I wanted to talk about it today because I absolutely love Pat McGrath blushes in general. This, by the way, I should mention the shade. This shade is Flirtatious, which I think is one of her lighter shades. I was kind of worried this wouldn't show up on me. It is gorgeous. If you have a light medium, or fair skin, this shade of blush is so beautiful. It is incredible. I absolutely love it. It pairs so beautifully on top of a bronzer. I put just a light layer on. I'm actually gonna put a little bit more on. For me, this kind of blush, or this color of blush, I can really load up on my cheeks because it's just not very dark. Now, if you have a medium skin tone or deeper, this probably is not going to show up on you. But maybe check your Ross if you happen to be driving by one. Maybe you will luck out and find a Pat McGrath blush at your store for $15.99. These are normally $39. Normally these are $39. So if you can find them for $15 or $15.99, absolutely worth it. I'm wildly excited about this thing. I've been enjoying using it for it's only been about 6 days now, but check your Ross. If you find this there, grab it. And the last favorite that I have is the ColourPop 1111 palette. This palette is so beautiful. I am wearing it on my eyes today. It's just stunning. I love this palette so much. Now, I do think some of these mattes are a little bit on the softer pigmentation side, but they're definitely buildable. The shades are beautiful. You get some really good cool tones that are kind of more taupey in tone. That is just so pretty on the eyes. I love the shimmers in here. I love that you get some pinks and purples, but you also get a couple of golds in here, so it's not too cool tone. It's stunning. I love this palette so much. I've been really enjoying this last month. It's been a fun one to play with. It gives you just enough variety that you can come up with some different looks, but nothing's too extreme or over the top. For those of you that just like your kind of basic looks, this will be right up your alley. I love the look that I have on today. So let me just walk you guys through what I put on my eyes today. I started with this shade in my crease and kind of really loaded that up. And then I darkened it up with this shade right here. And then I put a touch of this right along the lash line, and then I have this kind of soft shell shimmery pink all over the lid, and that's all that I'm wearing. It is so pretty. It's been a while since I've given ColourPop a good second glance, but I'm glad that I did because I love this palette. It is so beautiful. And that, my friends, is it. I hope that you guys have a great Halloween. For those of you that are going trick-or-treating tonight, have fun, be safe. I'm very excited. I'm taking Charlie out. She's being Rumi from K-Pop Demon Hunters, which I'm sure if you have an 8 to 12-year-old daughter, they probably also are being one of the K-Pop Demon Hunters. Thank you guys for joining me today. Thank you for sitting through that declutter. For those of you that made it through, I know those videos are long and the audio and the video is not as good, but it feels so good to have my makeup all organized and put away and cleaned. If you didn't watch it, go give it a watch if you have some time. But that's going to do it for now. Thank you guys again for stopping by. Let me give you one last reminder to subscribe if you haven't done that yet, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.